Hey, this is Mr. Molo. Going to give you some tips and tricks for this review today. Last review, I gave you the answers, and that didn't work out so well. There were a couple of kids that got this done in like under 10 minutes. So I'm just going to go through the questions here, kind of read them to you, and then see if there's any tips or tricks that might help you out. So number one, you're just writing it as an inequality. Make sure you have x when you type it in. And same thing on this review, I gave you infinite amount of check answers. So keep trying until something works. Number two, I would solve for it first. And then if you get something, like x is less than 0 or equal to 0 or something, then you know that those are solutions if it's less than or equal to 0. And then if it's not less than or equal to 0, then you know it's not a solution. So I would solve it first and then do it instead of just plugging them in and see. Three, you're solving and graphing. Four, you're solving as graphing as well. Make sure you get your x's together first. 5, solve and graph. 6, solve and graph. 7, solve and graph. 8, we got some distributing. So make sure you distribute there first. So 5 times 8, 5 times a negative 2x. Same with number 9, negative 2 times 10, negative 2 times a negative 3b. And then same thing on the other side, 6 times b, 6 times a negative 3. 10 and 11 might get a little tricky because they got the 3 boxes there. So make sure then you got your and or stuff in there too. For those ones that require an and and an or in the box. 12 is an or problem. 13, our first absolute value one. So make sure you remember when you can write the two equations. I'll answer my own question. So write the two equations right away on this problem because the absolute value is already by itself. It's if it said like absolute value of 2x minus 4 and then had like a plus 7 or something on the outside, then you need to get rid of that 7 first. Before you wrote your two equations. But since the absolute value is already by itself here, you're good to go. You're skipping 14 and 15 and 16. 17, it wants you to solve or write the inequality based on the sentence there, and then it has a drop down here for you of what your inequality actually says. Same thing for 18, so it gives you a sentence there, and it writes the inequality for you, and then you got to do the math. And then on 19, you actually have to write the inequality. So based on the words it gives you, you're playing a video game. For each diamond you collect, you earn 80 points. You also earn 100 points for finishing it in less than 2 minutes. You need to earn at least 1,220. So it kind of gives you that there. Also make sure that you see that it gives you the 1220 right here. So don't put that in the box. Otherwise, then it looks like you wrote 1220 twice. So it'll mark it wrong. And then 20, kind of the same thing as 17 and 18. They're kind of giving you options here for what the equation could look like, and then kind of the same thing. So you're going to select 2 here, one from the left column for the equation, and then one from the right column for what the answer is. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.